So hi, everyone. My name is Robin Akampora. I am with Yale's Office of Career Strategy. I want to thank you all for joining today. The area that I cover is Common Good and Creative Careers. And for students who are not familiar with Common Good and Creative Careers, or as we call it, CGCC, we are an initiative out of Yale's Office of Career Strategy that is specifically focused on students like you all. We are looking to help students who are interested in the areas of education, of nonprofit, of government, communications, and all the creative careers. So we want to make sure that you know about all the resources and the services and the different programs that we provide, such as the one today. So I am very excited to have MeshEd with us today. We have Aysha Khan, who is the Director of Internships and Project Manager, as well as Betsey Schmidt, who is the CEO and founder of MeshEd Collective. I heard from MeshEd a little while ago about some great internship programs. It was really excited to have them come on board to provide a session to all of you to talk about their internships. So I am now going to turn things over to Aysha and Betsey. Thank you so much.
Rob, jump in first. Yeah.
Let me just do a sound check, and Aysha, we can kind of tag team a little bit. And as it turns out, I'm actually able to stay for the whole meeting, which is great. I don't have to bounce. So we're delighted to be here. So big thank you to you, Robin. MeshEd feels already a kind of closeness to the Yale community. We were thrilled last summer to work with 2 Yale interns, and we're eager this summer to work with many more. We also have done a bit of work, and we hope to do more in Connecticut. So we're delighted to connect with you for so many reasons. Aysha, why don't I pass the mic to you, and then we can go a little deeper into introductions later.
Good. So hey everybody, my name is Aysha Khan. Like Robin mentioned, I'm the director of the internship program. This will be my 2nd time managing the internship program. And I personally think the internship is a really rigorous and robust program, and it gives interns the ability to actively work on curriculum development and also apprentice teaching. So it's a really great way to get familiar with edtech startups, try your hand at curriculum development, and then also get in there and start working with students and teachers right away as well. So I'm really glad that you're all here, and great to see so many of you guys joining us today. And yeah.
We had a question that came in the chat. I'll try to, Aysha, you and I can take them as they come, but the headline here, what are the dates of the internship? The dates are 8 weeks, and it starts June 7th, and it goes through the last day in July, with a possibility of an extension into the 2 weeks in August, but it's an 8-week paid internship. And we're gonna adjust a little bit. I love the idea. We're obviously a technology-based ed tech company, and we'll get kind of layered and give more detail on our mission. But the essential thing is that we're trying to create the most progressive online education content that's aligned to a very particular kind of approach to learning, which is called project-based learning. We normally do Zoom interactions here, so I'm going to bring this down from 8 minutes to 5 minutes for this section. What we'd like to know, and your option whether you feel like sharing or not sharing, but we're super interested in what the disruption of the test optional movement has done to education. And you all, if you're actively enrolled as an undergraduate in Yale right now, then you are getting educated at higher ed at the most interesting time, in my opinion, in education, because you're right there in the middle of the disruption of the test optional movement. So question for you all, when you applied to colleges, what was the most important extracurricular activity? And did you feel on your college application that there was a place for you to really grow into detail about that? And then if your option to let us know if you chose to apply test optional to the schools or not. And again, why don't you take kind of 1 to 2 minutes to think about that? We'll see if there's anything in the chat. And if there isn't, then Aysha, maybe I'll just pass the mic to you. And Aysha graduated from Wesleyan in 2020, right, Aysha? Do I have that right?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll totally go first. I'll jump in. My name is Aysha Khan. I graduated from Wesleyan in 2020. I use she, her pronouns. And one thing that was a really big authentic passion of mine during my high school years was crocheting. One of the things that my high school required was volunteer hours, and I chose to volunteer at a one-room like library in my really small town in Connecticut, in East Windsor, and that's where I met the librarian named Burl. And it was a one-room library, so it didn't get a lot of foot traffic, a lot of like downtime. And she pulled me aside one day. She noticed I was a little bored, and she was like, "Hey, how about we crochet together?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is." Never heard of it. And she, throughout the weeks that I was there, she taught me how to crochet. And while I was learning and kind of practicing crocheting, we just exchanged so many stories, and I became so close to her. And like volunteering became a really, really important part of my like schedule throughout high school. So I was actually able to showcase my like passion for crocheting and storytelling, and how I became really close to Burl in my college essay. And that's how I was able to highlight that authentic passion of mine. I wasn't really able to include it in the activity section or any other section of the application, but I found a way to like tie it into a powerful like mission and personal statement of mine for my college application.
And I'm going to pick up on Maddie. Maddie, thanks for using the chat here. So Maddie, interesting. You applied in the fall of 2018, and I don't know enough about Yale and test optional, but it sounds like it was not an option for you to apply test optional in 2018, but we've looked it up and it is now. So very interesting to us that you were kind of right on the cusp there. And you loved tutoring elementary school kids. And what that actually tells me really interestingly is that activity, right? Because you're here on this webinar and you're joining us and you're interested in this internship, it sounds like that was a really important to your identity, right? And is an interest and an activity that you're continuing to pull through your Yale education, which is very, very interesting. And forgive me, Aysha, do you want to take the next one? And Rivi, I'm not sure, forgive us if I'm mispronouncing your first name. The wonderful stories these are. What are your thoughts, Aysha, on Rivi's contribution?
Yeah, it's great to hear that people were able to like use the essay section to highlight, just like similar to kind of my experience with the college application, using their essay section to highlight what they were really spending their time doing during their high school years.
Before we dive in and talk about like the actual mission of MeshEd, one of the things I want to say is that there's the official mission, which is on our pitch deck and on our website. And then there's the emotional mission, right? Which is obviously very related to our stated mission. But I would say, Schmidt, that everyone who joins our collective, and we're a collective of former interns who stay with us, teachers, curriculum developers, ed tech developers, but everyone is really passionate about the fact that it's just not the case in America and even globally that every student has equal access to the kinds of extracurricular activities that form your sense of self and actually also prepare you for success in college and success in early stage careers. Our passion is to create a mesh, that's why we're called MeshEd, that connects and raises the floor, like raises the quality of what mostly is called extracurricular activities, and gives students more opportunities to take really seriously their passions and their community engagement. There just isn't enough of a platform to make sure that every student in the US, and gosh, we believe it globally, is able to apply to college and apply to early stage careers with artifacts and materials that really help them say what's the most important thing to them, in addition to their academics. That's kind of what we're all about. So we really thank you all for contributing to the chat. It's what keeps us going, is learning about these stories. So MeshEd Action Labs, we are creating, we're in the early stage, we're an early stage ed tech startup for kind of a funky and very, very mission aligned, social impact aligned one. We really believe in the power of network. And that's so much more possible now because of the pandemic, actually through the distribution of really high quality online content and trainings. And this is our tagline: college and career-oriented project-based learning for every student. A few just sort of key facts about our young company. Our legal name is we're MeshEd Collective, PBC. A public benefit corporation. We're technically a Delaware public benefit corporation. And that means we are a for-profit with ambitious social impact, social justice, and climate action goals. It's baked into our bylaws. It's baked into what our board of directors holds us accountable. We've been very intentional and very lucky with our advisory board and the active members of our collective. And again, we want to be out there, contributing and paying taxes. That's actually really important to us. But we hold ourselves, our goal is to increase access to our content at the lowest possible price point. We'll talk about that, right? In addition to being a collective where people feel nurtured and feel inspired and mission aligned and actually love to work. And we want to take the least toll possible on the climate. You all have met me. I'm Betsey Schmidt. I founded, we don't have a history slide here, but I founded MeshEd in October of 2019. We started as a consulting firm and supported a number of education organizations on project-based learning. That's what we're all about. And we've kind of grown ever since. We'll talk a little bit about that growth. And I'm happy we'll have a Q&A and we can ask more questions. The core of the MeshEd content is something called our Action Labs. There's actually a whole separate portion of our website on our Action Labs. These are online courses that we create. They're very interdisciplinary. That's another reason why our name is Mesh. They are designed to be delivered online with training modules. They move through a cycle of project-based learning, and then we have a number of different action lab courses or content verticals, and we can create these new labs pretty quickly, actually. That's part of how we, again, increase access to what we're doing. We feel really lucky, in our basically 2 years of being up and running to have served over 15,000 students and teachers. I don't know what the number is, Aysha, and teachers is probably about 450 when you include our work on something called the National Summer School Initiative and this summer for the Indie Summer Learning Labs. I think the next one is our mission slide. You have getting we lost the mission slide. We don't need, we've been yakking about the mission a lot. And I haven't been looking at the chat, so I want to see if there's no questions in the chat right now. We'll be checking. Aysha, would you take the mission slide, and then we should probably really land on the definition for project-based learning, because you'll be hearing us say that phrase over and over.
Yeah, sounds good. So Our mission statement is to increase access to high quality project-based learning that guides all adolescents to create digitally archive and share their most meaningful work. So what this looks like is students, we create these really robust action labs, and each action lab has a specific focus. So as you'll see later in the slide decks, we have the climate action lab, sustainable fashion lab, documentary filmmaking. So all our action labs have really, really cool topics that students are excited and interested to learn about. And each of the action labs guides students through the high quality project-based learning HQPBL framework. And we start with identifying a project topic, moving into research and further development. We guide students through reflections and feedback sections, and then finally to presentations. So those are the like core kind of like HQPBL moves that are necessary for high quality project-based learning. And our action labs guide students through them. And the most meaningful part to me about our action labs is this digital archiving piece. So we equip students with a digital portfolio throughout the action lab, throughout their time at the action labs, and this digital portfolio captures the process of their project development. So students will finish up a session with us, and then we'll take a second to pause before the class ends and have them take some sort of a snapshot of where they are with their progress on their project, and then we bake that into their digital portfolios. So when students leave the action labs, or when the culmination of the action labs happens, students are also equipped with this digital portfolio that they've been building throughout the course of the action lab that they can attach to high school applications, college applications, internship applications. So it equips them with the process and the final product of a project that they're interested in, that they've created, and that can highlight their skills and talents.
Thanks so much, Aysha. I'm just going to read out loud the definition so it kind of lingers in the air. Project-based learning is a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world, personally meaningful projects. And on the landing page of our website, if you scroll down to the bottom, we have a gallery of student work. And what you'll see there are the digital portfolios that Aysha described, that each of the students who takes our action labs winds up with. A lot of curriculum development, like kind of any kind of design-based work, is reverse engineered, right? In this case, we design our curriculum backwards planning from that outcome for students, right? That they have a passion that they're interested in. We move them through a digital portfolio process of archiving the process of creating their work, and then a final project. And to just give you an example, the action labs that we offer now are something called the art of the podcast. So the final project is a podcast. The process of creating it is something they go through. A sustainable fashion lab where the design is an upcycled recycling piece. And again, the process of creating it is what's archived, as well as that final product. Documentary filmmaking, a climate action lab where that's an actual measurable climate project. And then the documentary filmmaking lab, which I mentioned, and what am I forgetting? A democracy action lab, right, for civics and local action. So you'll see the most important thing is looking at the students' work, right? Because we're trying to create something that students could attach to a high school or a college application to showcase, right, what they're interested in. So it's not just like a list on an activity section, but it's actually something where the work is there. Okay, so now we're going to get into, I'm going to move Aysha pretty quickly because I really want to save time for Q&A. And Michael, this is such a thoughtful comment. I want to have more time to talk about your contributions in the chat. So here, just quickly, we are a public benefit corporation. We're also an ed tech startup, right? We create online project-based learning content, and we're improving it all the time for maximum distribution. Like, our goal is to create a lot of demand and to distribute our content and to keep the prices low as possible. We've been very lucky to have received some grants. We've partnered with nonprofits. And at this point, like most of the students who have worked with our content have worked with our content for free, which we love. So the problem, at least as we see it, it'd be really interesting to have a more robust conversation with students from Yale about this, right? Is that we know, and when we say we know, it's because we've studied the research on this. And there's now about 15 years of research. We know that standardized metrics don't predict achievement in college, right? In fact, a recent, this is a 2019 study, showed that there is 0.6 difference in graduation rates between students who submitted test scores and students who didn't. And if you're really interested in this, there's an organization called fairtest.org that tracks almost daily data on the disruption in standardized testing. And Aysha, we can go on. So its problem is like short term, there's no data that says that there's difference in performance in college, nor, places like McKinsey and other think tanks have actually been, studying what is the preparation for early stage careers or for careers in the information age or in the age of working with intelligent machines, right? So they don't also, according to a number of reports, measure the skill sets that that students are going to need to thrive in the knowledge economy, right? Those skill sets are adaptability, initiative, critical thinking, and the one that's dearest, I would say, to MeshEd's heart, right? Creativity and innovation. We believe that project-based learning does prepare students for this, but nobody's going to know about it if they don't have like that outcome digitally archived, right? So as a result of, we've discussed the fact that this is the age of the test optional movement. I think Aysha, the next slide is just like a list of the colleges, just to flash that up there. 2021, right, was obviously like a massive, because of the pandemic. Like this is one of the bright spots in an otherwise horrible period, right? Is that like a whole bunch of schools are, including Yale, right, are suddenly going to have data, right, on how students who applied test optional fare, and we'll get like much more interesting and rich data on performance in college and beyond. Just a kind of quick thing, if you want like another way of saying like what we produce and who we produce it for, right? We produce, like, there's education companies and ed tech companies are like, they do a number of different things, but it's often like, are you an education content provider? Are you a service provider? Or are you creating like a digital platform? Right now, we started out first as a consultant, then we started to like crank out online content that supported project-based learning and trainings, right, for teachers so they know how to teach it. And then like increasingly these digital project-based learning portfolio tools. Right now, you should know that like at first you have to prioritize when you're in a startup what you do first. So, so we made a decision to have all of our content like be able to work with Google Classroom, since that's what most public schools use. And Aysha can tell you, because she's been leading the charge here, Google Classroom is kind of a nightmare, and it's just like workaround after workaround. So we're starting to think about the fact that we actually probably have to build our own now that we have like this tiny little granular list of all the bugs and kinks and things that are wrong with Google Classroom, so that we could build a platform, not just like willy-nilly, but like, designed to solve those problems that exist with project-based learning, that's delivered via Google Classroom. Yep, just a quick look at where we talked about how we've reached over 15,000 learners directly, and most of these contracts have been through large, that's B2B2C is business to business. So MeshEd gets hired by an organization like the National Summer School Initiative, really large nonprofit that formed the first summer of the pandemic. And we were hired to create all of the online enrichment content for a free summer school program that served, I don't even know what the number is, but it was about 10,000 kids. And then this past summer, we got a little more specific with our content. We weren't doing just general enrichment, but we were actually distributing those action lab courses that we talked about. And you see them over there, the 6 that we've developed so far in the center of this slide. And we were hired by the United Way of Central Indianapolis to provide all of the online enrichment again for the Indie Summer Learning Labs. And I recommend you all check out the Indie Summer Learning Labs website, beautiful brainchild of the United Way. And they basically created a network in Indianapolis for all of the children in Indianapolis to go to a local center, a library or a synagogue or a church or a public school or a Boys and Girls Club, where they got like kind of core central curriculum. Ours in the afternoon for enrichment, wonderful academics in the morning, delivered by student teachers, actually. So we delivered our content online, and we also massively trained about 500 teachers to teach our content, and we reached just under 4,000 students this past summer. So that's been like our real growth. And then we offered directly to students. That's why it's B2B, us to the business, to the students. The C is being the students there. And then we also do offer directly our labs through our website. You can actually sign up to take our labs directly. And so that's our B2C model, where we're going directly, MeshEd is going directly to students. That's actually the biggest area of growth. And as we develop as a company, our goal as we move out of seed stage into Series A will be to serve more and more students directly. I think we should break now, Aysha, and talk a little bit about like the internship, don't you think? So that's the end. If you have questions about our business model, you can use the chat and I'll respond in the chat. But otherwise, we want to get into the nuts and bolts of the internship program. And Aysha, as she mentioned, is our extraordinary director of internships. And this is the 3rd summer of internships that we've offered through MeshEd.
Yeah, so happy to jump in here. Every summer, MeshEd launches our annual summer internship program. This is an 8-week paid hybrid program with options to meet virtually and in person. And I think this year will definitely be an emphasis on the in-person. The internship gives college students an inside look at the ed tech industry and social entrepreneurism. Interns experience what it's like to be part of an educational startup, and they have the unique opportunity to design project-based learning curriculum. So in the past, our interns have been very involved with the development of the Climate Action Lab and the Sustainable Fashion Lab, and they very much like drove the direction of those 2 lab courses. We don't just stop at curriculum design. Our interns have the chance to put those ideas into action through apprentice teaching, the MeshEd Action Lab courses in Dumbo. And I think this summer we'll be offering our action labs based in Connecticut as well. So there's high likelihood that we may have hubs in Middletown, Yale, near the Yale campus in New Haven, and also in Hartford. So just keeping that in mind as well. Here is an overview of our internship program. You'll notice that the MeshEd intern cohort comes together 3 times before the official launch of our internship, and we come together virtually. And this is when we will kind of equip you guys with the trainings and webinars that are necessary for executing the work that you're going to be doing during the internship. A lot of the intern trainings revolve around topics that we mentioned: HQPBL, high quality project-based learning, backwards design, and planning. We also here at MeshEd are a huge fan of the CASTLE framework, the CASTLE social emotional learning framework. And that's becoming a bigger and bigger piece of education moving forward, especially progressive education. So we're really excited to be kind of like pushing and on the forefront of that. During weeks 1 to 3, interns began to explore topics from the trainings in a cohort hands-on style. So we put you right to work on curriculum design and research initiatives. And during this time, interns also explored topics for their personal projects. And personal project topics have varied throughout the internship. Some interns have done projects on price points. So doing research on price points and helping us determine how we should price our action labs. Interns have been really involved in that. Other intern projects include doing a deeper dive on project and place-based learning. So kind of informing our curriculum on place-based learning. And internship personal projects have also related more towards like business development and not related to curriculum design. So we had some really great interns that developed marketing materials for us and a great like intern highlight video that we're proud to show you guys in a little bit. So our interns do a little bit of everything and really get really hands-on and I think a really unique experience in an ed tech startup. We're really transparent. That transparency is a huge part of like our business model and what we do. So if there's something that you're interested in exploring, we really want to hear and provide the space for you guys to like run with those initiatives.
I'm going to just say in kind of summary, sorry. The internship has 2 halves. The first part is training. We take a very particular approach. I've been a curriculum developer and a chief innovation officer for 30 years. And I've developed all manner of curricula, right, for both in school and out of school. But we develop curriculum that aligns with HQPBL, the hqpbl.org framework. I put the link to that resource in there. And as Aysha also mentioned, our curriculum is designed to align with social and emotional competencies, particularly the 5 core CASTLE frameworks. We also align to the teaching justice, social justice standards, very important to our work. And then academically, we do align with some parts of the Common Core, particularly for information sharing and presentations, and for science with the Next Gen Science standards. So it's a mesh, right, of different kinds of standards, and the training is very important. That comes early on. We take like 2 weeks of training everyone and how we write to curriculum and teaching you how to work with our content. And then, as Aysha mentioned, there's a teaching portion or apprentice teaching portion. So you kind of learn how to do, and then you do. And this is actually really important because it's how we deliver our content by and large, right? We create online content and then we train. Usually it's student teachers to deliver our content. So that's essentially what MeshEd is all about, creating content and then creating a workforce basically, right, that can deliver that content.
So here is actually a brief clip of one of our past interns, Cambria. She did a personal project on place-based learning, and this is her final presentation. So I'll just show you guys a quick clip of
definitions
this.
Of place-based education, but I like this one a lot. So place-based education immerses students in local heritages, cultures, landscapes, opportunities, and experiences, using these as a foundation for the study of language arts, mathematics, social studies, science, and other subjects across the curriculum. And I really liked this definition because I like how it doesn't just emphasize landscapes. I think that's what we see with Dewey and this example of the farmyard and the garden. I think that there's kind of this environmental and sort of rural approach to place-based education that I think we see as is more present in kind of traditional approaches. But I think that it's really important to think of it beyond.
So that was just a quick clip of Cambria sharing her learnings and wonderings based on her personal project, which was focused around place-based learning. Cambria's work really informed our CT Summer Action Lab. So we actually were able to use Cambria's research on place-based learning and really put that into action with our previous summer's in-person Action Lab offerings based in Middletown. We had expeditionary learning sites that we took students to on Wednesday. So that's where Cambria's work really came into play. So MeshEd really takes the work that interns do and puts it into action, and really values the work that interns complete during your time with us.
It's a way of
Place-based education.
it's a way of understanding the project-based learning cycle by doing, right? We talk a lot at MeshEd about walking the walk, right? Project-based learning and that hqpbl.org framework informs how we work together as a team. It certainly guides. The internship is a project-based learning internship, you could say. And yes, as Aysha mentioned, internship projects we actually often help you decide a project that would be of use to the MeshEd Collective and our team. And then sometimes we put it into play that very summer. Sometimes we put it into play, later on in the year.
And here is Anna Graziano, another intern of ours. She put together a MeshEd video highlights that really captures the essence of MeshEd at the Action Labs and the internship program as well.
Welcome to MeshEd. We are a collective of education designers committed to increasing access to high-quality project-based learning for all adolescents. Here are a few scenes from our action labs. These are courses that deliver the highest quality, most engaging PBL directly to students, school districts, and community learning centers. Our courses are designed for in-person, virtual, and distributed learning. We want students, families, and educators to be able to choose the best way for students to collaborate and build projects that make positive change in the world. This, we believe, is the future of education enrichment.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Climate Action Lab. My name is Aysha Khan. We're excited to be working with our fellow climate activists to come up with a climate action plan.
This is the waste piece that I had and did. Make some earrings with the same fabric.
Welcome to my mini journey to make a difference. I think help is a solution for the future.
Hello, Abubu. Could you please introduce yourself? Thomas, what's your favorite thing about having a dog?
What I want to do with it is encourage others to make personal but beneficial efforts, because there are so many ways that you can help.
Join us. Students, family members, you can register directly for our latest courses at the bottom of this page. Teachers, school leaders, nonprofit leaders, we would love to work with you to enhance project-based learning in your organizations. Our project-based learning courses also enhance social and emotional learning and place students at the center of their education. Please email us at info@meshedco.org. We'd love to work with you. Welcome to Mesh.
Sorry about that.
And that student project from just last summer is on the landing page of our website. So I feel like that says more than we could possibly say about how much we rely and celebrate internship work with us. We don't have much time, so I think we should close out now with questions, burning questions, and very important, I think, our contact information. We'd love to be directly in touch with you. So I'm going to put my email, and Aysha, if you could yours, because we hope we hope to hear from you directly. Those are next steps there, and then I'm going to look. I'm just going to scan the chat, and please note that there was a typo. The dates for the internship are from that first Monday in June, which is the 6th, to July 29th. Do you all have any other questions? I guess, Robin, question for you. Do we go into gallery mode to see each other, or we should continue to use the chat for questions? Is that the best way for Q&A?
Yes, so the students are not, because it's webinar, we can't see their faces, but they can put questions in the chat. If you want to take away the screen, that might be easier either way. But I did want to mention that for Yale students, I realize this call involves students from various schools. Some schools might have Handshake. Yale is not a Handshake school, so we are going to get the posting into Yale Career Link, which is our job posting system. So I'll be working with Aysha and Betsey on that. Yeah, I think there are some questions, so I'm gonna turn it back to you both in case you want to answer those. I see a lot of great questions have been answered though, so good job on both of your parts answering as they're coming in. I'm impressed.
Wow, I feel like there's so much good stuff. I hope we can preserve. I wonder if there's a way, can we get just the transcript from, I'm gonna try to save it. In Zoom, you can save it, so I'm just gonna scroll up right now to make sure we don't miss anything because we may want to go back.
Yes, I will save everything in the chat, and I believe we can get a transcript afterwards. Yes, because
that's great. All right, Aysha.
Yeah, there were some questions that I saw come in that I just want to like answer for everybody. So somebody asked a question about like, are freshmen allowed to apply or seniors? So the internship opportunity is open for freshmen through seniors. We traditionally in the past have looked more towards like juniors and seniors because they're further along in their career, or in their like college educational like career, but everybody regardless of class year is welcome to apply. The average amount of hours worked, so our internship runs for 8 weeks. We meet every morning at 10 a.m. and we have meetings scattered throughout the days, but the intern like work hours are from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Interns have Fridays off, and the stipend amount for the internship for this summer is $3,700 for that 8-week time. This webinar recording will be available, so we'll make sure that you get that. And there was one question that I think is going to be important to address, the in-person versus like for virtual format. So our trainings in the pre-internship phase are asynchronous. So we'll be sending you recordings that you can watch on your own time and at your own pace at your leisure. We just ask that you complete that before the internship starts. Once the internship launches, we have cohort trainings that can be done virtually. All our trainings are in cohort style meetings are done via Zoom virtually. But then once apprentice teaching launches, we'll ask that you be in person. And there's a chance that we're going to be offering our action labs in various locations, including Brooklyn, Middletown, Connecticut, and New Haven, Connecticut. So if you could be in person and in those areas, that would definitely be a plus.
Yes, the honest answer is, just as you all at Yale are reading the latest signs for what's happening with the pandemic, our plan for now is to be offering our courses in person, right? We will very likely end up distributing a lot of online content through something like the United Way or Boys and Girls Clubs, right? So there ends up being a fair amount of work that can be done remotely. So even if you feel like you need to be home, right, wherever that may be this summer, it doesn't mean that you should still apply, because there usually is possibilities for remote internships. So that's an important question, but we don't really know what's happening. We're super interested. We've been experimenting with the hybrid model. We really like the idea of, through the hybrid model, it means that students can meet students from other schools, right? They can join remotely, they can join from wherever they are. And one of our aspirations is to break down education silos, right? And to have the students who've joined our classes directly love meeting and working on projects with students from different schools. And most of the regions that we work in are incredibly segregated. The school systems are. So it's an excellent opportunity for like true diversity in terms of our building small learning communities around our labs. So it's 1 o'clock now. You have our emails, Robin. We will be we'll be in touch, and we'll send out a blast, I suppose, right, when the formal internship is posted.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Aisha and Betsy. I'm blown away by this presentation and just learning more about your organization. I want to, obviously be talking to more students about it. And thank you for sharing, just more about like the student profiles. It sounds like a lot is on your website as well. So we should go there to check out more in the interim. But yes, we'll be sure to let students know when this opens up. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. And thanks for everyone who joined us today.
Great to be here. We look forward to seeing your applications. Applications are open. We'll be probably starting the interviews in around March. We'll see how much interest there is and what's going on. But in the meantime, please reach out to us by email. We're dying to actually